Welcome everybody, it's tractorchute here for the second game of the day here on this great Friday we're having up here. In the upper left hand corner, it is a polite man who gives the double GLs. It is NitOStarNitO playing as the red Terran here. And in the bottom right hand corner, playing as the blue Terran, it is going to be Makaveli. Usually TVTs tend to be boring, but this is called the best TVT ever, so I have no doubt in my mind this one's going to be a doozer if all goes well here. Taking a look at the APM tab, we can kind of judge how skilled these guys are. This was one of those ones that loads up, doesn't show me the users when it loads, just goes into a different loading screen, so I can't see what level these guys were, nor did I look them up. But based on that APM there, we can probably assume they're somewhere around gold-ish. But the blue, Makaveli there, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe he's bronze, or maybe he just doesn't like clicking the mouse. Who knows? But either way, both these guys should be fairly decent. I would have to imagine they're at least silver, somewhere in there anyways. Taking a look at the good old production tab here, we have nothing other than our good old SCVs. Of course, one supply depot down for each of these boys this early. And the very, very early scout by Makaveli here. Going to go right to the base there. We'll get him before the wall gets up there. Not that it's going to tell him anything other than the fact that his opponent has a base. He is actually going to attack the building SCV. Very, very smart done there. Do like to see that out of anybody who plays against Terran. They always attack their building SCV. Does force them to pull someone off the line each and every time there. And he actually did pull back his scout. Did he scout at all? No. Apparently got him 3/4 of the way down there. Decided this is horse shit. I'm going back home. So that scout goes back home there. Not entirely sure why he even sent him across the map at that point in time there. But either way there, maybe he's got a good feeling that his opponent did cross spawn from him. So he will just take that and run with it here. We take over. Yes, this is a cross spawning map. I was just double checking which map we were on here. So I do believe it's always a cross spawn on this map here. So we will take a look here. He's going to get the early expansion for Makaveli here as he's done his scouting there. That told him enough, seeing the barracks and the supply depot apparently. Feels he can expand. In the meantime, his opponent has very early gas and is not going to look to go Reaper. He's actually going to get an early Marine out here. And in the meantime, he has elected, now I'm going to go scout my opponent here. So he has the working SCV. This one decided he was a better scout. So he's going to head his way down here. We'll see that early expansion. And very curious whether or not NitOStarNitO, just going to call you Nito, if Nito's actually going to react to it and put some early pressure on him, knowing that he has expanded. Did he actually walk through that? Yes, he did see it. Okay. Very well done by our good man Nito. So Nito will get in the base there. Does see the double barracks going down here. So those will be the first barracks that hit the field. And finally going to get a gas down at the same time here. Orbital command ended up going down at the other end here. So Nito's got the orbital on here. Gonna put a reactor on his barracks and sit those two Marines down there and keep guard of that post there. Does realize with the early expansion, probably won't see any early pressure. Does get the second barracks just finishing up there. And we will sit on a little bit of a macro game at this point. Doesn't look like anybody looks to put any early pressure on here. We are going with a 1-1 build here. Do have a barracks right into a factory. Second gas going down. Mules are dropping down. Nito's looking good. His opponent, Makaveli, not looking too shabby himself, walling off down at the expansion there, getting himself his own orbital, and is going to start getting himself out a couple Marines at the same time as well here. So both these guys sitting on basically almost the exact same build, other than the fact that our good man Makaveli has the early expo out here. And we will sit back while we build up Marines here and see what kind of damage we can do in this baby here. Do have the double gas fully mining off here for his opponent, Nito. In the meantime, down at the other end there, he is just getting an orbital, but has mules working on that expansion. There's a few Marines waiting to get in that bunker there. Let me in, they say. SCV wants in there too. They kick him out. SCV is going to go back to building. He's going to give himself a second bunker out there. We'll get the last Marine to fill up that bunker at the same time as well here. And outside of that there, we are sticking with the double barracks and going to go right to a factory. So finally getting ourselves a factory out here. At the other end here, we have ourselves on the one barracks. Yes, it is a 1-1-1 build here. So we do have ourselves with some Hellions. They will be the choice for our TVT game. Not a bad choice. TVT Hellions are very effective, so very well done there. And is also getting himself a tech lab onto this barracks over here. So we'll let him start getting his combat shield, his stim pack, and his concussive shells quite possibly. And there we go. We are actually going to move right off of that tech lab. That tech lab is going to be used for the starport quite possibly. Or maybe even the factory, maybe jumping into some Hellbats. We're soon going to find out here. Is the starport going to be the choice for that tech lab? It does not appear so. Not until he gets out of medevac anyways here. At the other end, it does look like his opponent's moving out one more time to get a little bit more of a scout off here. Not too sure why he didn't just use a scan. Or maybe he's going to go do something funny down there. Who knows? We are continuing to mule up at the bottom here for his expansion. Has himself that second barracks out there. Nobody wants inside that except for one lonesome Marine there. Does have the SCV sitting down the other end here. Not entirely sure what he's going to use that SCV for, but he's probably got some sort of plan, maybe to move in for a little bit of a scout. Sees his opponent hasn't expanded yet, so he's got to be feeling pretty good, especially since we're already 7 minutes in. He's had his expansion up for a while, but does have a loaded medevac. Now, is he going to be ready for this here? Loaded medevac has itself 4 Hellions. That'll be a decent drop if he can get that down here. If we take a look at the units tab, there's an engineer bay going down for Makaveli as well here. Units tab shows us just the 10 Marines, and all 10 Marines I do believe are way down here. So if he does manage to get those Hellions in there, that could do a fair bit of damage here. Did he actually elect to get himself some blue flame? Not as of yet. But he is going right into a tank as well here, so he's going to go with some little bit of siege tank with Marines. Going to get another siege tank out here, and Tech Lab finishes up on the starport. So very interesting. Maybe looking to get into some Ravens. Yes, it is. Ravens will be the choice there. So we will move ourselves in here with this drop to see what kind of damage we can do here. NitO not looking too bad here, especially if you can get this down here. Opponent still hasn't really got anything other than 11 Marines and 1 Marauder down at the bottom there. Is going to use some jetpacks to get in here, I would have to imagine, and start doing a drop in the back. Could do a fair bit of damage. Turret's going to go down a little bit late there. There's the Hellions there. They start shooting, which allow enough time to get the SCVs out of there. And there's one turret up already. It's going to go to work on the medevac here. Does kill a lot of the health here. Sends them all down the mine off the other base, which does enable him to get his army up here. So didn't really do a whole lot of damage there. Didn't actually kill anything, to be honest with you. So very well done. Good defend by Makaveli here. If we take a look at the kill tab here, yes, just the one worker that has been killed. So didn't really do a whole lot of damage with that drop. So he will head back, pouting his way all the way back home here. And in the meantime, he has himself out some siege tanks. Has to be fairly proud of himself. Got more barracks coming down. Raven is out. And the command center is coming as well here. So we'll have the option to expand. And we're going to continue pumping the tanks out left, right, and center. So tank, Marine, Raven, not a bad build. Obviously, the Hellions are going to stop building now, as he was hoping for a little bit more damage on that harassment, but did not quite work out so well. In the meantime there, we do have a couple empty bunkers over here. They'll definitely help for nothing, so that's always good. And have ourselves a second gas going down as well. We're going to drop ourselves down a mule. Very well done here by Makaveli here. Makaveli hasn't really been too keen on moving out of his base here. Seems pretty relaxed. Other than the early scout that he did here, hasn't really had any intent to go out anywhere or put any pressure on here. But opponent's going to start moving out here. It does look like NitO's determined himself here. He's got the army he needs here with the good old 4 Hellions, 2 tanks, 1 Raven, and 12 Marines here. So he's going to push himself out. Look for a third will be the first stop here. So he's going to head right around the left-hand side of the map. Wait for the rest of his army, as the Hellions are pretty damn quick. And we'll sit them all up here. They're going to kind of hide behind the wall here. There we go. We're going to start pushing ourselves a little bit further ahead. Meanwhile, his opponent, is he going to be ready for this? He did jump right to Hellbats here, so very good choice there. So he's going to have a couple Hellbats, a couple Marauders, and 11 Marines over here with a couple supporting medevacs as well. So we'll push ourselves up here, taking a look up here. He has left one poor little SCV behind there, so no SCV for repairs. Gonna move the tanks right into position there. Finally gets the rest of his army up here. They're gonna go to work on that empty bunker here. Very well done. Realize there's no gunfire coming out of those bunkers. They're probably wondering what the heck's going on here. So he is going to start pushing forward slowly with his tanks. Opponent doesn't want to engage this at all, which is probably a pretty good idea, especially with those 2 tanks in the background here. There's the supporting SCV here. They're going to go to work hitting all the mining SCVs coming out of the gas there. So very well done with the turret drop. Is bringing in some Hellbats here. Do believe so. So he's going to go to work, drops them right on the tanks. That enables the rest of his army to move in here, but they clean it up fairly easy. So still 1 tank on the field here. Very big pressure he's putting on here. Might be a little bit of trouble for his opponent, Makaveli. Makaveli has a couple Vikings on the field, though, so he could definitely go to work on that 1 medevac. Brings his supporting tank in. Couple more Marines coming in here. He's going to start pushing forward here. We'll be able to do quite a bit of damage over here, as his opponent isn't really ready for this, especially with that supporting Raven. Could drop down a Seeker missile or maybe even a couple more turrets. So they're going to continue to work, see if they can get the kill on this good old command center. Needs to move the 1 tank a little bit further up there to do some damage. And we'll just continue to take as much kills as he can get here. Does put the scan down to give him a little bit of range there. Or maybe that was our good old NitO making sure there's nothing cloaked in there. Not entirely sure. But they are going to continue to go back and forth here. See if we can get any more shots on this command center. It's being repaired like crazy. Look at those SCVs go to work there. 2 Ravens are now up here. So he is kind of a little bit of jockeying for a position here. Opponent doesn't really want to engage with the siege tank fire, but at the same time, NitO doesn't want to overextend himself here. There's the couple Ravens. They're going to try and go to work here, see if they can pick off a couple medevacs or maybe even pick the Ravens off here. And there we go. Point defense drone goes down. That'll definitely help out here. So here we are going to take a few more shots in there at the command center. Continue to no, they've quit. They said, fuck it, I'm not repairing that thing. They're all leaving. They're going to hide in the bush, so very well done there. I don't know. Makaveli looking pretty bleak for you, my good man. He's trying to fend this off here, but it looks like he's going to clean up those overextended Marines there. And there's a lot of pressure he's put on. It has the 5 Hellbats with the 3 Marauders and the 7 Marines. Going to bring even another tank that's going to be even further up on the map here. So that'll definitely help out. Has quite a bit of energy left in that medevac there. Not too much energy for the Ravens here. There's one turret down. Definitely needs to clean up that turret, and he will do so. So that will enable his Ravens to get in there one more time here. And he's just kind of sitting back here, has turtled himself into the 1 base. Really needs to get himself up there. Probably on the high ground. My recommendation is pull back to the 1 base. You've lost your 2nd base. Would not want to engage them on the low ground here. Try to get an engagement when the siege tanks aren't sieged up. There's a free siege kill if you can get in there in time. Doesn't quite happen as the supporting army gets over there. So he has pushed him right back into 1 base here. He's still working 1 base himself, though. Still, what does he have? 3 barracks and 1 factory and 1 starport there. A little bit surprised he hasn't spiced up on his production buildings there. At the same time, he is supply block, so that's probably one reason. Both these guys are actually supply block. Makaveli a little bit more supply block than his opponent here. He has himself turrets going down. That's probably the best maneuver. And actually drops down the extra supply onto his supply depot, so very well done there. We'll go to work and continue to supply block his opponent here. So Makaveli in a lot of trouble, but has the high ground now and has opponent a little bit overextended there, but does end up getting his units out of there. So cleans up all that, puts Makaveli back behind. At the same time, NitO has elected on this attack that he doesn't want to pay attention to this base. Has been sitting at supply block for the last minute or so here. So maybe might want to look back there to get that done, or maybe feels he's got this game won. And I hope that's not the case, because that's where a lot of people make mistakes. Don't feel you have it won. You always got to macro while you micro is the key. But at the same time, we do have an attack over here. Actually did a Hellbat drop. Sorry, I missed that. Cleaning up on the SCVs here. That's what the blinking on the map was here. So very well done. Got his opponent's attention now. His opponent's not moving at the other end here. And he did clean up a ton of those SCVs here. And of course, those Marines won't even hurt the Hellbats here. Take a look at the kill count here. Look at that. Wow, 20-4. Really cleaned up on the SCVs at the other end here. And he's going to continue cleaning up as much as he can here. Meanwhile, at the other end, he's continuing to drop turrets on the upper ground. Does give him control on the upper ground now, so he can move all his units up there. Siege tanks on the bottom ground. They'll all have vision here. Needs to get all those Marines up there so they can start going to start firing away here. Does he actually? No, does not have stim pack at all. None of these guys have stim pack. Apparently that is not needed at all. He is continuing to clean house up here, preventing any mining there, but has the siege tank out here. Apparently these Hellbats are oblivious to it. Doesn't hurt them at all, but maybe hurts those two there as they end up going down here. We'll continue to push forward on here. Actually gets a factory kill, so very well done there. All those SCVs, they go out there to watch that. They say, okay, back to mining here. We've seen the show. And we are going to move ourselves up here, try and get those Marines back up here, try and get control of the upper ground. Needs to maybe move the tanks a little bit closer if he can now that he's up on the upper ground. Takes out the 1 siege tank of his opponent here. We'll move back down to the lower ground here. Doesn't want to overextend. Maybe doesn't feel overly confident he's got that battle won here. So we'll find the unsieges tanks there. Probably going to move him a little bit closer, or at least as close as he can. So very good placement there. Trying to get the 1 in there. Marines need to move their ass out of the way there. He does scan down there to make sure he can see everything that's happening down there. So he does have 3 siege tank, a 4th one, not entirely sure what it's doing, but it's going back and forth. Brings in more Marines there. Still doesn't want to build any supply depots, so we will remain at the 78, only 67 using it. And it is 167. Opponent, as you can see, is continuing to amass an army here. And not looking too bad. Is actually wearing his opponent down. There we go. They're actually going to go to work on this lower army here. Not doing that bad of a job there. Vikings do clean up all the air army here. So very well done there. And they're going to continue to push this army back here. So very big trouble, but the Marines turn around the Vikings. They end up getting a couple kills there. We'll clean up the Marauder army. We are back down to 61-42. Siege tank on the upper ground doing a lot of damage to NitO. So NitO, as you can see, a lot of big line of reinforcing units coming down here. So Makaveli's got to decide what he wants to do at this point. Maybe he needs to get some more siege tanks on the upper ground here, and that's exactly what he's doing. So he's going to get a second one down there. We'll be siege tank on siege tank here. Don't believe Makaveli can see him. Not quite. But at the same time there, he definitely needs to get himself an army out here. Only has the 2 siege tank, 2 Marauders, and 2 Marines, to 22 Marines and 5 siege tanks of his opponent. So opponent definitely with a big advantage at this point here. Now he's moving the rest of those siege tanks down here. Yeah, it sucks when you don't have that upper ground. Really needs to get a scan off and to drop all these siege tanks down once they're sieged up. We'll see if that's going to work for him. He's got to figure out how he wants to get into this base here. Maybe bring some medevacs in, fly your Marines around the backside, something like that. They're just to distract your opponent. In the meantime, though, Makaveli has expanded again, so very well done with a little bit of a hidden expansion. Picked them all up with the medevac there and dropped them down, so fairly decent play there. And we are going to push ourselves up here. Have a bunch of tanks coming up with the good old Marines there. Tanks are going to position themselves a little bit farther out as they can here. And I don't know what he's going to try and force out of his opponent here. It's going to be tough to engage at. Like I say, he's got to try and drop up there, or maybe drop right on top of him. But that's going to be very difficult to do as well, especially with those Marines and Vikings sitting in there. So very interesting here as it has come to a bit of a standstill. Makaveli probably feeling pretty confident here as he's got the expansion going up, that he can maybe amass an army up top without his opponent being able to get in here. But we will soon find out. His opponent, NitO, has finally determined it's time to expand at the 20-minute mark. Very well done there. Meanwhile, Makaveli's got himself a full-on expansion with the double gas and a bunker going down over here. So it has come down to the Wild West showdown. Nobody wants to move here. Nobody wants to engage the siege tank fire. So we will sit back and relax till one of these guys determines they want to make a move here. Very good positioning of that tank there. I do like that. Decently done. This tank down here, not entirely sure what the hell it's going to do. Maybe it's going to pick off some long distance mining SCVs. There you go. That was his plan the entire time there. So it does pick off a couple kills there. Does bring himself down another medevac. Like I see that medevac might want to pick these up and fly him into the back of the base here. Maybe, well, could try and get himself in the back. Just a lot of turrets there. I really don't have a solution for you, NitO. I will leave that up to you, my good man. There's another one trying to get down there. Mule thought it'd be a good idea. It didn't work out so well. But in the meantime, he does have one Marine over here. One Marine will try to go to work on this command set. Oh, is he attacking the bunker actually there? Yes, he is. So he'll go to work on the bunker. That'll probably take him a couple hours to kill. And there's the scan. They'll take out the one tank that was positioned in a pretty good spot there. And they realize they don't want no piece of that. There's a lot of siege tank fire down. Oh, bad positioning on the one siege tank there. He gets cleaned up right away there. So that's taken him down the 4 siege tank, 23 Marines to the 3 siege tanks, 6 Marauders, and 7 Marines over good man Makaveli. So we'll continue to go to work here. As you can see, it's taking an awfully long time to take out that one bunker. Not too sure why he doesn't kill SCVs. Apparently he feels bunkers are more threatening, so we'll continue to go to work here. There we go. There's a little bit of a drop here. Siege tank and a couple Marines will easily clean up the one Marine of NitO here. But at the same time there, he's getting a little bit of shots in the upper ground there, but too many repairing SCVs here. But at the same time, he's got no vision to shoot back here, so he will just continue to waste money on that repair there, and will actually end up losing it in the end here. Viking does give him a little bit of vision there, so that'll definitely help out. There's another shot at him. Almost taking out the low run. There we go. Another lost siege tank. Apparently siege tanks are expendable to NitO. He doesn't mind that at all. And he will actually move. Apparently SCVs, Marines, they're all expendable. He can just move them in to see how many siege tanks are up top, I guess. They end up rattling off a few more kills there. And there we go. Finally has determined that he needs to drop somewhere. So he is going to bring these units over here. He's going to go drop over here. Probably, if you're going to drop over there, drop right on top of that tank. But at the same time, like I say, it's going to be hard to get in there. Probably will lose a full load here. Not good. Oh, there's a full load of Marines. Didn't need those Marines anyways. All right, so lost a few Marines here, and he has elected. Now I'm going to go on the ground. Yeah. I don't know if that's going to be the best of choice, especially with the siege tank over there, but at the same time, he doesn't have a lot of supporting units. But he does have a nice little bunker with 2 guys in it here. So he's going to move right in there. He's going to work in there, kill that tank off right away there, which will happen quite easily here. And should be able to clean up this base, barring his opponent doesn't drop anything else. He is going to bring a tank in there, but at the same time, he might want to get right underneath that medevac here. He's going to go for some SCV kills. Will plant himself at the back here, so very good positioning on the tank. And those Marines in the bunkers are going to try and clean up the rest of this here. Tank will easily be able to clean up that drop, so very well done there. And at the same time there, Makaveli taking control, my good man. He's going to plant himself down at the bottom here with the 3rd expansion. Makaveli, my good man, I would almost think that you were sitting yourself at some sort of diamond level. And there we go. APM is still showing that apparently NitO is a machine. Makaveli doesn't need to click the mouse or push any hotkeys very fast to win this game. If he wins in the end, we'll soon find out here. Like I said, I don't know who the submitter is at all here, as it did load me up with no loading screen to show me any names or anything like that there. Just got 2 users here, so we will soon find out. But I'm going to have to say Makaveli definitely showing much more skilled gameplay. I will say that so far here. Does have himself sitting with a good old unit tab there. There it is. 5 tanks, 7 Marines, 7 Marauders, and a Viking, and a whopping 11 Marines out of NitO. But NitO, in the meantime, has elected to fly himself in orbital. Apparently didn't like that mineral patch over there. So he's going to fly himself all the way over to the far one here, as apparently he thinks command centers move at the speed of lightning. But either way there, I guess you can expand wherever the heck you want. Some people have preferable expansion spots, I guess. In the meantime, we will macro ourselves up a little bit longer here. And we are getting the orbital coming out as well for Makaveli. Like I say, he's been very macro heavy this game. He's looked damn good doing it here. So he's getting himself out another tank here. Heavy on the tank. 6 tanks going back to the Hellbats. Has a couple of Hellbats on the field here. But is elected just to sit back and relax. That is a lot of medevacs as well there. Has 3, 6, and 2 or 8. 2. So he has 8 medevacs there. And finally this one's going to land over here. Wanted to go for a little bit of a scenic tour. But we'll get his 3rd down finally here. Like I say, his expansions went down pretty late there. But at the same time, there when they're both attacking, you can see they both have basically nothing in the bank other than the very high gas count by Makaveli here. He will also get himself down a third orbital there as he's finally got his expansion back up and running on his natural. So very well done there. In the meantime there, we do have a random SCV still standing there. Didn't really want to go anywhere. And there we are muling up at the bottom here with all his orbitals. So very well done there. And it does look like we are just going to sit back here with our straight marine build apparently. Apparently, what is he doing with straight marines? Well, he's accumulating some gas is what he's doing here. Apparently, we are 26 minutes in the game here, and I don't think Bass Marines is going to do a whole heck of a lot. But either way there, does he actually have his stim? No stim pack either there. That isn't going to go overly well. No stim pack for his opponent either, which is very surprising we don't have upgrades. No upgrades at all. Not even concussive shells, combat shield on either of these guys here. Do we have any actual upgrades? We have one for the ground weapon and 0 for these ones here. All right. Okay, fair enough. Like I say, what makes the best games, though, is people that are evenly skilled. And in all honesty, these guys are fairly evenly skilled. So, whether or not they be high skilled or not, at least they're evenly skilled, so it makes for a decent matchup here. And we are going to move out with the one Marine here. So, we have one sacrificial Marine that's going to go do a little bit of scouting here. He's going to move himself across the map here very slowly up to the other end here and see, I don't know what he's exactly going to look for at the 27-minute mark, 28-minute mark now, but he just wants a Naga Tower. There you go. So, he's got his own vision here. This SCV, the long-lost SCV, sitting on himself out here, not doing much here. That SCV's probably got the best job in the damn world. Doesn't have to mine, doesn't have to attack, doesn't have to repair shit. Just has to stand himself somewhere where nobody knows. Still not too sure what these guys are planning on doing. Maybe we're going to mass up to 200 here. NitO, I will say, for a very fast APM, hasn't built shit. 77. We're up 77 food now. 78 is the most I have seen him at the entire game here, but he is at least amassing himself a lot of Marines. So apparently he has given up on the skillful play. Oh, there we go. Finally, we have a tank here. I was going to say, maybe given up on any sort of skillful play and decided to go mass Marine without stim pack. And he's highlighted them all for a second there. Maybe that's it. He just likes to click the mouse button is why his APM's so high there. Doesn't do much with it. As his opponent's moving across, I think we can almost see where this game's going to go here. 153 to 89 in food count. Makaveli with one massive looking army and a very good compilation, especially with that mass tank. Has a lot of medevacs. Even has supporting Vikings with the 3 of them in there. So a very good compilation, I will say that much here. And we'll probably enjoy what he sees here, which is a bunch of Marines with some random SCVs that think they're Marines. They're going to sit in there. As you can see here, is that combat shield? Did he get combat shield? What do you do, combat shield? We have an upgrade. Wow. All right, combat shield's finally been gotten at the 29-minute mark. And now we're going to push ahead, and I don't think this is going to go overly well for you, NitO. Barring a miracle, which I don't think is going to happen. I would almost think that this game's going to end fairly quickly here as Makaveli's pushing hard. Although, NitO is building up here. Has himself up to 103 food, so not looking overly bad. Sieges go down. They're going to get a few shots off here. This is going to be great big trouble for his opponent here. Did he get anything to help with that? Nope, no stim pack yet. But just that massive amount of army should easily be able to push that back here. So they're going to go to work. Vikings don't really need to be used for much there. He's going to pull back. Didn't like what he's seen. Going to bring some more siege tanks in there. These siege tanks are all going to siege up there. And this is really going to be... Oh, he's going to move them right into that siege fire there. There goes the entire army of NitO there. NitO says good game. Very polite ending. Do like to see that, whether you win or lose. Do give my congrats to you, Makaveli. My condolences to you, NitOStarNitO. I will leave you with this. If it ain't right... You have no idea the last time you shaved. You be good. Don't hurt nobody. Peace.